What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to discuss why Sonic proves that fan service is good, fan service works, and this really comes as part of the whole discussion of Sonic being actually really, really good. Now, I guess I should start off this video by saying I have not yet seen Sonic, so I'm talking about this from a person on the outside looking in, although someone who has followed this through fruition for when this movie released, and basically we've had quite an interesting couple weeks with this Sonic movie, right? Critics pretty much hate it, and fans pretty much love it. I mean, there are definitely, fluctuations to that. The movie is not like the worst movie in the world to critics. They're not giving it like zeros, ones, or twos, stuff like that. But it's getting pretty average to below average scores for the most part. And then fans, is it the most perfect movie in the world? No. But is it like a trash pile of a movie? No. It's like decently well. And there's like this disconnect going on. That's one thing that's happened. But I think larger than all of that, and that is a big part, and I will give you the fact that the whole, the redesign of Sonic didn't you can't, I guess, 1,000% say that it made the movie. It's the reason why the movie is doing good, because we don't really have anything to go off of if it was in reverse. However, what happened with that is fans, I mean, if you're late to the party, fans despised it, right? I mean, it was the most scary-looking thing I've ever seen in any movie, ever. And I think what you can say is the fact that they took it down, and the fact that they said, okay, you know what? You guys despise. I mean, it's a horrific thing anybody's ever seen in their life. We understand you guys hate it. We're gonna change it. We're gonna do the best we can to make it what you guys want it to be. And there was a whole fiasco with that, right? There was a whole thing of basically everybody in the media saying, they know it all. They say, you can't do this. Like, how could you possibly bend the knee to fans? I mean, can you believe, guys, the people that pay to have them be allowed to make these things and pay to see the movies, give them their paychecks? Can you believe that they said that you shouldn't listen to them? And I mean, that's generally how the media operates. But now we're literally seeing it come back around, and we get to say, like, you guys clearly are in it for like a different reason. You guys are just definitely on the other side of things that we are, because, and again, there's no specific way you can say it, but from what I've seen, there are some like emotional scenes. And in any movie, you're supposed to care about certain characters, and you're supposed to care about Sonic in this one. And specifically, I think I was watching like Angry Joe's review of it, and he was even saying like there are some scenes where you feel bad for Sonic, where you're supposed to be like emotionally invested in him, and you are. But if he was the abomination that was the other Sonic, the pre-Sonic, you probably wouldn't be, right? Because you would just be disgusted with him the entire time. So I think there is definitely something to that literally them changing it just for the fact that like it looks better and it just looks close to the character, it did help out the movie, right? It helped drive emotion. It helped you be able to actually like Sonic more. And in addition to that, I mean, that's one, right? That's like how it literally affected like the intricacies of the movie. And the other side of that is it literally made fans say, hey, you know what? They listened. It's not like we're sending out, like really bad threats and stuff. I don't want to say it on YouTube, but like it's not like people were I'm sure there were some, but it's not like that's the reason why they took it down. It was pretty much the fact that like, hey, you guys messed up. This is not how you do Sonic. Like, absolutely not. This is already something that we're kind of iffy on, and then you give us this product. Like, no, like, absolutely not. And people tore that movie, like the trailer, to shreds. And then they took it down. You know what I mean? Like, it's different than if you were to just bombard them with stuff like that. But it really does set a positive message going forward. And that's what the media definitely doesn't want you to think. It wants you to think it's the other way around. That, like, this is a bad thing going forward. That, like, if you just cry about it enough, that they're going to change it. When in reality, that's not what it was. It wasn't people crying about it. It wasn't people sending very over-the-top like messages, we'll call them, to these people. It wasn't, again, there were maybe some of those, but the overwhelming thing is just, we want a good product. Here's what you should do. And you know what? They, for the most part, did it. It's not exactly Sonic, but it's very, very close. And again, you have to respect that they're going to have their own creative ideas, but you need to respect that you're the ones making it, but we're the ones buying it. We're the ones sitting there and having to support it. And so we should, in a way, have a say. And again, like from us on this channel, we've talked about the Uncharted movie over the last couple weeks, right? And it's a franchise I feel very passionate about. It's a franchise with Tom Holland. If you guys are new, a franchise with Tom Holland from Spider-Man. He's going to be Nathan Drake, and I think it sets a very positive message for that. They're talking all about the games. They're talking about how they have to do the fans justice, how they're using the games as references. And you know what? If he comes out and he's the worst looking Nathan Drake in the world, I guarantee you they would probably do reshoots if people are loud enough and say, this isn't how you do, this is not Nathan Drake, that's not Sully, that's not how you do it. And again, there's correct ways to voice your opinion, and then there's probably incorrect ways, right? Obviously going over the top and stuff, but this is only a good thing. And again, the box office is like the big punch in the face to media, and the kind of celebratory thing to the filmmakers. It's like, hey, again, there's no way of fully telling that if they didn't do this, like how much does the money change? But still, in context of the story, it's like, hey, you listened, and I think a lot of people were more willing to go see this movie now than they would have been. Truly, I do think just from, again, the internet isn't everything. A lot of people don't go on YouTube, don't get their news there. So some people that went to see Sonic didn't know about this entire thing anyway. But I can tell you, there were sections of YouTube, Angry Joe's crowd, the quartering crowd, and plenty more where it was like, hey, maybe we should go support this thing, or getting their community to say, hey, I think we should be more willing to see it because at least they listen to us. Like, if it's bad, that's fine, and we can tear it apart. But, hey, at least they did something. And we need to promote that that's a good thing to do. So I'm in my personal opinion is, yes, the box office, the overall how much people are willing to give to this movie, maybe there is a slight curve on the positivity that people are saying about this movie, maybe because of all that. But you know what? It's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it's a good thing. Because, again, it's like, they weren't look, they were not going to do it right. The movie may have been the exact same, but if the emotions and how everything worked with Sonic and all that kind of stuff, if it just didn't work because he looked awful, that is a major problem, and it's totally cool that people voice their opinions. And again, look at what happens. Now you get a huge separation of critics versus the blue check marks, and then actual fans, the ones who pay money to see it. Now you're seeing a separation of them, and you're really seeing where they both lie. And I think it's a good thing. This is as weird, and it's not going to make $1 billion. It's probably not even going to make. It'll probably settle in around $300-400 million, maybe. It probably won't even hit $500,000. But you know what? It's going to make its money back. It's going to make a nice profit for them. And again, for a movie that's not huge, and it's a video game movie, it's kind of out there. It does have some pretty big ramifications going forward, especially in this little realm we live in, video game movies. Oh my God, it's massive. What this means to video game movies is absolutely massive. Maybe not to huge movies. I'm not saying if we're all loud enough to marvel that these billion-dollar franchises would change. I think they're maybe a little bit out of reach, but you know what? Eventually it could get to them. Honestly, eventually it could, and that's something that takes time. It absolutely takes time, and Sonic is a really big moment for that. So I think it's just good news all around. Again, it kind of proves that fan service is a good thing, that no matter what the mainstream media will tell you, I don't even understand how you can think that fan service is bad. Now again, there are bad ways of doing it. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker was bad fan service, right? Everybody wants Kylo Ren and Rey, but does everybody want that? I think most people actually just want a good movie, right? So I understand that you can go overboard with fan service, or you can kind of take it farther than it needs to be, stuff like that. I get that, and that's what they'll always go to kind of defend themselves, that fan service is bad because look, they can do this. But there's a good balance. There's a balance in everything, right? Fan service is good, but you also need to have your creative freedom to make what you want to make. And then ultimately, we are the ones to decide if we want to, like anything, games, movies, television, you make what you want to make, and then ultimately, we will be the judge on, if we support you. You're not going to tell us to support you. You'll try and sell us on it, but ultimately we are the ones doing it, and we can choose to do it or not to do it. And if doing just a little couple things, especially in this case, it was Sonic's design, if you do these couple things to please us, we are more willing to give you our money. And you know what? That does set something, going forward for this industry. So I think it's a good thing all around. Guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think this is ultimately a good thing for the movie industry? Do you think that this proves that fan service does actually work? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel Podcast Now. Hit that bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And thank you, as always, for watching. And I hope to see you all on the next video.